Tonight, though, it's about skill. It's about basketball. Welcome to the USA Basketball Showcase, presented by Nike. From inside the Thomas & Mack Center in Las Vegas, Nevada. And let's take a look at the starting lineups brought to you by Nike tonight. It's blue against white. There's a look at some of the players on the court tonight. And Klay Thompson, who launches a quick three right there to start the game off, misfiring, but he was a member, one of several members of that World Cup championship team last year in Spain in the FIBA World Cup. Brad Beal knocks down the first field goal of the ball. Up court comes the blue team. Harrison Barnes, who's in the USA pipeline, knocks down a three ball. Kawhi Leonard, the former finals MVP of the Spurs, gets the second one to go. PJ, this.
And they're certainly not in good shooting shape, so I think we're going to see some clangs occasionally.
Here's Brad Beal off the screen. Back to DeMar DeRozan, the star for the Toronto Raptors. DeMarcus Cousins, goaltending called on Andre Drummond.
The two bigs who helped lead us to that gold medal in Spain in the World Cup, Drummond and Cousins going against each other. Really, the 2 days of practice here, Mike Krzyzewski did more shooting.
Day and went through an initial meeting. Here's Blake Griffin. That alley-oop pass a little bit off the mark. Never quite got there. Brad Beal from downtown, and Brad Beal with that smooth stroke shot 41%. Here's Kawhi Leonard. Leonard able to be part of the USA basketball this year, was unable to coming off that championship season last year. He was fatigued a little.
And really can contribute.
Here's Kenneth Faried, who was a starter last year in Spain on the World Cup championship team.
A lot of people were surprised, Jonesy, that Faried was on that team. Not only on it, he was one of the better players in Spain.
Yeah, great point, BJ. He made the all-tournament team. And Cousins certainly was pivotal in USA basketball success as well. And back comes Blake Griffin, who has missed out on a couple of opportunities to be a part of USA basketball. Good dime to Michael Carter-Williams for the layup. Championship team last summer, and 8 players from the 2012 Olympic team in 2008. And Blake got hung on the rim that time. DeRozan throws it down at the other end.
Important to note, Mark, that the players did not have to agree to play in the game. We got some guys that are injured, we got some guys that are fatigued, but they had to be here in Las Vegas and be part of the mini camp.
Griffin to Cousins for the alley-oop, and that Mike Krzyzewski was telling us before the continuing to burn. You know, there was talk, PJ, that he might step away from it after London, but convinced to come back.
Yeah, Jerry Colangelo is a very sitting to Mike Krzyzewski's right, also a critical part of the success.
Jim Boeheim and Tom Thibodeau, the coach of the white team tonight. Here's Michael Carter-Williams driving the baseline, and that's what got Faried on the team last year, his motor.
I was just going to say, this is not going to be a defensive tape that Tibbs is going to want to look at, and then Kenneth Faried makes a really good defensive play.
He made a tour of the Philippines and Asia, and doing whirlwind 360 dunks. Looks healthy again.
He looks healthy, and he feels very good. Had a chance to
help themselves during the offseason. Here's Michael Carter-Williams coming back the other way for the white team, right now trailing. And the former Rookie of the Year with a nice layup to make it a three-point game.
Some of the young additions in the game now. Elfrid Payton with a beautiful move.
Big part of him raising his draft stock, BJ.
Well, so many of these players started out young in that pipeline that Jerry Colangelo loves to talk about. They played in East Iran, who's not playing, LeBron and a number of other guys, James Harden. They went at it pretty good in a very entertaining part of the post-practice.
Locked inside, and Oladipo leading numbers for the blue team. It's a 4-on-2, and Payton finishes on the other end.
Nice look from Rudy Gay.
And Plumlee with the alley-oop. Plumlee came off the bench last.
Played here. He came in not as a member of the team, but the select team playing against him, and he played so well in the mini camp, arguably one of the 2 best players in Spain.
And PJ, that's a little different when you think about as Terrence Jones gets the bucket.
Different, and that was a big debate, has been a big debate since Jerry Colangelo and Mike Krzyzewski have been in charge of this program. Do you want a big, powerful guy or basket and run the pick and rolls out there? And that's going to be interesting next year when they pick the team for Rio. You know, do they go big like with the Drummond or
Jerry Colangelo of USA Basketball, the managing director, joins us at the beginning of the second quarter. A mere achievable job to pick just 12 players out of a pool of 34 very talented players. As Aaron Aflalo. Here's Draymond Green from the NBA champion Golden State Warriors over to Jones. Aflalo, one of the newest members of the New York Knicks, with the three.
Patient just doesn't sit well with any of us, and I really needed to make it somewhat mandatory that people needed to show that they were committed.
Hey, tell us about some of the new challenges now when you look forward to selecting 12. I mean, an unenviable task of trying to get down to 12 players from 34. How have you tweaked the formula moving forward now for next year?
Yeah, I think I'm glad you raised that question, because what we want to do is protect our players. We don't want to cut people. We don't want to embarrass them if they came to a camp with 18 or 20 and you have to get down to 12. So next year, what we plan to do is we will
different team. We look at the eight players who are in that 34 from London gold medal to 2012, and 11 of the 12 are here from 2014, the World Cup Championships.
Yeah, that's what's fun for me. I think back to 10 when we had 12 new young people. We weren't going away, and that was a very exciting team.
Jer, how do you balance USA basketball success and experience versus, let's say, next year's NBA season in your selection process?
Well, I think it's important, first and foremost, that these young men who have their livelihood playing in the NBA take care of their bodies, stay healthy, and we wish them all the success during the NBA season. What takes place with us is an experience they all want to experience, because they know it's a different environment. They're not playing for their team per se, they're playing for the United States, and we try to put them in a situation where, heaven forbid we ever have another injury of any type, but we try to protect them as best we can. I think they're in safe hands with us.
Jerry, let's talk about a couple guys that have been very special to the program since you took over. LeBron James and Carmelo Anthony, going back to 2004. Line up with you. What does it mean to have them still in it, potentially moving forward to 2016?
Well, it means everything. You know, for their sake, I was a group of two when you think about it. So that in itself is kind of neat. But to have, you know, LeBron James and Carmelo and together, who bring something to the table. And in each case, we have felt that the assistant coaches that have been with us for this last decade do all of that. So it's okay. As successful as he's been, he's always open to learning something new. He's never said, you know, I
just looked at him and said, summertime, and everybody had a good laugh with that one, Jones.
Yeah, no doubt, Mark. Let's see, Doc Rivers put that on the clip reel at some point for laughs, and boy, nothing funny about the way Andre Drummond attacked the rim that way, folks. Turned 22 years old 3 days ago. And a long jumper good by Harrison Barnes. Let's get that. They don't really run a lot of stuff for him, do they?
Jonesy, I think he's one of the more dramatically improved guys in the league, and I think it really changed in Las Vegas 2013. Guys who had yet to really establish themselves in a league, it really helped them from a confidence standpoint, and they went back and just built upon that. And he
had an interesting tweet the other day, and referring to the NBA schedule as DeMar DeRozan punches one on the alley-oop. And Andre Drummond on social media said, okay, we got 20 back-to-backs, no national television games. Cool. I think he was a little salty about that, PJ, as Martin Carter Williams.
And that's great. That's great that they look at that and they care about that. And the assistant coaches are working. But Andre Drummond can go to the boards and rebound. Harrison Barnes can knock down a three. DeMar DeRozan, they're still sending messages. They're still reaffirming with Mike Krzyzewski what they did or what they're capable of doing going.
At the other end for the white team, here's Brad Beal. Lost the handle. And Klay Thompson coming back the other way. Oh, he went 5-hole on DeRozan. And there's your Sports Center top 10 for the night, courtesy of Klay Thompson.
Messages, and again, Klay Thompson with the little handle there. Let me go through the legs, come up with it, and soft finish.
Who's now a member of the Trailblazers, missing on that alley-oop. And Fareed with the layup. I think somebody told these guys there's an MVP award and maybe some cash up for grabs tonight. Plumlee over to Jones, and Plumlee with the putback.
Themselves as players, they've been in the league for a while, and you look at all the ages, 22, 24, 25. It's really amazing.
A couple of successive missed alley-oops, and Plumlee shows him how to do it at the other end.
Mitchell goes deep. There's Kyrie Irving, and you know he is licking his chops. He wants to get back out there and be a part, not just of this experience, but
it certainly would have been a little different if he was in the lineup.
When you get to take two all-stars and all NBA caliber players off the roster, that can be a factor. But again, as you said, it's not like we're hurting at the forward spot or the center spot, but you talk about being overloaded. The guard spot is amazing.
Kenneth Fareed says, "You better come out and guard me." Draymond Green let him fire. And that's the end of the first half of play. A very quick first half. The potential gold medal game for the Rio Olympics. And this should be showtime. Not missing that one.
A little more elevation that time for Blake.
Yep. Griffin has had injuries that prevented him from participating, but what do you make of his future with USA Basketball, and how does he fit? One thing is that there are going to be multiple all-stars like Blake Griffin on that slam.
I can't imagine any of those six guards. What combination of what they've already accomplished for USA Basketball and what I think they will continue to accomplish next year. A Dwight Howard, a DeAndre Jordan, a Drummond, a Cousins. Or do they go smaller with the Fareed? Or do they want another defender? A Butler, a Kawhi Leonard. Play against Marcus All. Because Spain is still the next best team in the world.
You think they're number two? Yeah, they're ranked number two in the FIBA rankings.
They still are. And who's going to match that front line? You can put Mark and Pau Gasol, Serge Ibaka. You do need some bigs to play against those guys. So what Mike Krzyzewski, Jerry Colangelo, and
although they didn't have to play Spain in the final.
Exactly, and I think that they really weren't all that big in London, and obviously enjoyed countries. Things can change, but to me, Spain is still the team that they're concerned with beating, and that front line has got to be a major concern. How you match up with them?
Right.
What? How are their bigs going to guard our tremendous athleticism, the smaller forwards, the guys who can get up and down the floor and shoot three-point shots? So
the intrigue moving forward. Here's Blake Griffin, a 3-on-1 with Carter Williams and Cousins. Blake, showtime.
Marcus Cousins running a screen. He just wiped out the defense. Left Michael Carter Williams and Blake to play 2-on-0.
And referee Anthony Jordan calls a foul on Blake Griffin. Blake is actually protesting, I think.
Look at DeMarcus on the left. You're missing. He's got his left arm. He just moved Victor Oladipo out of the way. And I think Blake Griffin is trying to get the... I'm sure he heard.
Drummond goes 1 for 2. And hey, need USA Basketball updates at your fingertips? Folks, download the USA Basketball app today for the latest news.
Andre Drummond, Boogie Cousins, and all these guys are, becoming great players in this league, and it's fun to watch them grow. So I'm just having a great time out here. The way I can get on the team is how I perform next season. That's the only thing that really matters.
Hey, but Dwight looking healthy, and got to look at him in training camp last few days. What you think?
Oh, he looked very good. I like what he's saying. Meantime, he's talking about the young guys. Dwight's 29. Yeah, he's graybeard over there. I don't even know how he can get around. He's so old. But it's, again, that's part of that experience and reestablishing the culture that Mike talked about. And he showed clips. He showed clips from Beijing in 08 and the World Championships in London. And again, they need to be reminded. They said themselves, hey, it was great watching that. You kind of forget, you take it for granted. And Mike Krzyzewski does not take anything for granted. Heeker's General Dempsey came in and spoke to them today. So, again, all part of that culture that Jerry Colangelo was talking about.
Great job by both of them. Hit with the nice bucket at the other end. Rudy Gay, you talk about somebody that filled in and answered the call of duty as Plumlee knocks down the jump hook. Kevin Durant last year stepped away from USA Basketball in the wake. Wow, what a slam dunk by Fareed. In the wake of the Paul George injury, Jerry Colangelo called up Rudy Gay, and Rudy said, "I'll be there tomorrow." And he was a key part on cue with the layup and one in their gold medal run last year.
A gold medal in Turkey, another gold medal in the World Cup in Spain. Rudy Gay more than answered the question. And again, A, being ready and showing a table. But there's no question when you talk about a complete player, when you talk about somebody the coach is going to be reluctant to have in at the end of a game. You know, it's not as much during the game because he can overcome it with the other things he does. But you don't want to put a player out there who you know is so susceptible to being fouled and put on the line in a close game. So factor late in games, absolutely. Factor whether he makes the team, I don't think critical factor, but again, we talked about a hard line. The other guy is an adventure on the free throw line.
Right.
That can tip the scale the other way.
Mayor Johnson with the slam, and another one of the bigs in camp for USA Basketball who showed up this week.
Not perhaps.
DeAndre Jordan, the subject of a very frenzied and hectic 11 here in the third quarter. White leading by 10. Oladipo inside. Johnson had it blocked. Plumlee going around the world to Kawhi Leonard, and he didn't get it off in time. Just a split second late.
Don't think we're going to go to Secaucus to review that one.
No replay center tonight. 10-point advantage for the white team. Barnes with 17, DeRozan with 13, and the former NBA Finals MVP with a slam dunk.
I think he didn't like the salary cap. He was not interested in what we were selling.
He didn't go for the whole thing about us writing him a check.
No,
right?
Forget it.
Drummond inside. ESPN several years ago. Recent win over Manny Pacquiao, big victory.
It's a different weight class for Floyd here tonight.
Yeah. A couple of guys in training camp during the last couple of days, and there are several that still don't know what Kawhi Leonard sounds like. He doesn't say much, folks.
No, he does, but it's funny. I was talking to our trainer at the fantasy camp, Dave Tomczyk from University of Nevada, Las Vegas, and Kawhi's used to playing in his building. He was at San Diego State playing for Steve Fisher, so he spent a lot of time in noise. It's about making good plays on the floor.
Barnes with the drive and slam. Yeah, the San Antonio Spurs, Kawhi Leonard, Tim Duncan back, Parker back, Ginobili back, and a guy named LaMarcus Aldridge.
Dwight Howard, it's the Western Conference, man. There are a lot of people to climb over, and nobody's coming backwards. They're all going north. They're all going the other way. So it's really a bear for somebody to come out of that Western Conference.
Griffin knocks down the three. Folks, keep in mind now, he's expanded his game. Griffin shot 40% from downtown this year from three. Oladipo just completing his second year, point guard of the Orlando Magic. And Drummond finishing hard at the hoop. Those charity game. So he's going to be below his summertime average tonight here, PJ.
Look out. Look out, Amir.
The lob. Blake Griffin exploding on the rim. He's got 15. Harrison Barnes and Drummond with an impressive punch at the other end.
They're right there courtside. Watch.
Taking some mental notes. Oladipo cross court for Barnes. Not sure it was intended for him. Tipped in once again by Andre Drummond here, and Stan Van Gundy. Much better feel for his roster moving forward now. Oladipo with the slam. What do you make of
The players love to follow him, and if we're in Vegas, we certainly have to have someone like Floyd, because this is the boxing mecca. And again, just as you know, it's interesting you talk about coming back. It's been 10 straight years now. 1 year missed when they were here for a lot of reasons. All the things that Las Vegas has to offer.
You know, it's interesting. You talk about the last 10 years as Oladipo knocks down another jump shot. Jerry Colangelo, what about the sustainability of the model that they have built? Well, and who does it?
Well, I think there's a lot of people into like that. You'd be on your backside.
3 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. And Plumlee with the slam dunk. And Plumlee telling me that he's got evidence Floyd yelling at Oladipo, saying, "Show me something." Oh, there's your show, money team.
Michael Carter Williams is not going to like watching that, and he will be watching that again.
Oh, here we go. It's on now. Carter Williams missed, but a whistle and a foul called. Our mics didn't quite pick it up, but Floyd Mayweather was yelling at Oladipo, who visited him at the gym a couple of days ago, yelling, "Show me something." And Oladipo put one on the highlight reel.
Money taught him that move. He worked on that move. That's why I was happy to see it in a game.
Oladipo without the O, and he is out there just slaying right now. Having these 34 great players in camp is that you learn they can't help themselves. They're competitive.
Hey, we're going to keep score. We're playing, we're going to keep score. Somebody's going to win. But you
DeMarcus Cousins. Some great commentary. DeRozan from the corner. Boy, Andre Drummond is on a mini trap tonight.
And he looks over to the sideline. Did you see that, Coach? You see that, Mr. Colangelo?
Yeah, he and Victor Oladipo have done well for themselves tonight, for what it's worth. Williams won that time, and back the other way, under a minute to go now. Coming up short, and Cousins with the follow. Remember, it was DeMarcus Cousins that really turned the tide around for USA in that championship game in the FIBA World Cup and changed the beat. On the way to the 37-point win.
U.S. was also getting beat up a little bit by the two bigs. That changed immediately when DeMarcus Cousins came in and laid some lumber on both of them.
DeRozan with the 360. There's a highlight for you. It's Blake time. Oh, tried to get the birthday boy a slam on his big day. Oladipo shows him how. Almost. Here's a good way to finish it off.
Or not.
Or not. Count it. Oh. And that's it. This one is cooked, glazed, and sliced. As the white team wins it 134-128 in a high-flying, pyrotechnic, highly entertaining game.
Crowd liked it. A very nice crowd here in Las Vegas tonight. They enjoyed the game.
Kyrie Irving sat this one out, the most outstanding player at last year's inaugural FIBA World Cup. Amir Johnson, Blake Griffin. Andre Drummond had some good numbers tonight. Drummond finished with 27 points and 16 rebounds. And 34 players started the week in camp and all showed up, wanted to be part of next year and a potential trip to Rio de Janeiro and the Olympic Games as part of USA basketball. Michael Carter Williams with a nice night tonight. Former NBA Rookie of the Year. Kenneth Faried played on that gold medal team. And we're going to take a short break and come back on the other side and hear from the USA Basketball Brain Trust.